You've just finished a perfectly satisfying dinner. You're completely full. But then, it hits you. An intense, almost desperate urge for something sweet. A cookie, some ice cream, a bar of chocolate. It feels like a battle of willpower, right? Like a personal failure of self-control. But what if I told you it has almost nothing to do with your character? What if it's not a moral failing, but just a neurological program running in the background? As a neuroscientist, I can tell you that your brain has a built-in system that makes you hunt for specific, high-calorie foods, even when your body absolutely doesn't need the energy. This system is ancient, it's powerful, and in our modern world, it's being hijacked every single day. So in the next few minutes, I'm going to pull back the curtain and show you the science of how this system works, why your cravings can feel so ridiculously overpowering, and most importantly, I'll give you a simple, brain-based toolkit to weaken its grip on you for good. To understand how to beat cravings, you first have to understand the battlefield, your own brain. Your brain runs on a simple, core directive: seek rewards, avoid pain, and save energy. This is all run by a powerful reward system. And the star player here is a neurotransmitter you've probably heard of, dopamine. But there's a huge misconception about dopamine. It's often called the pleasure molecule, but that's not really it. It's way more accurate to call it the motivation molecule. Dopamine isn't the prize itself. It's the engine that drives you to get the prize. It's the wanting, the seeking, the craving. When dopamine floods your brain's reward circuit, it sends a powerful message. Hey, that thing you just did? Do it again. It's super important for survival. For millions of years, this system worked like a charm. Our ancestors lived in places where calories were hard to come by. Finding something high in sugar, like ripe fruit, or high in fat, like bone marrow, was a massive win for survival. The brain evolved to release a huge surge of dopamine in response to these foods, making sure we'd remember them and go looking for them again. It created a powerful, life-sustaining drive. The problem is, your ancient, survival-focused brain is now living in a modern supermarket. It's surrounded by a never-ending supply of hyper-palatable foods. Foods engineered by scientists to be way more rewarding than anything you'd find in nature. This is where the hijacking begins, and it's a two-front attack involving your gut and your brain. The first part of the hijack happens through the gut-brain axis. You basically have a second brain in your gut, the enteric nervous system, and it's in constant chat with the brain in your head through a massive nerve called the vagus nerve. When you eat, special neurons in your gut detect the specific nutrients you're eating, like sugar and fat, and send signals straight up to your brain. Recent science has shown there are separate pathways for sugar and fat. So, when you eat something that combines both, like a donut or a slice of pizza, you're not just getting one reward signal, you're getting a 1-2 punch to your brain's reward system. Studies suggest this combination causes a much bigger dopamine release than either sugar or fat would on its own, telling your brain this food is incredibly valuable. The second part of the hijack is what happens over time. Your brain is smart. It likes balance. If it's constantly being flooded with these huge, unnatural dopamine spikes from engineered foods, it starts to adapt. It literally gets rid of some of its dopamine receptors to protect itself from the overload. This is called tolerance. Now, you need more and more of that same food just to feel the same level of motivation or pleasure you used to. This is the exact same mechanism we see in drug addiction, and it creates a nasty cycle. The more you eat these foods, the more you need them just to feel normal, and the less pleasure you get from everything else, including healthier foods. So let's be clear, that feeling of being powerless against a craving isn't you being weak. It's your ancient survival wiring, supercharged by modern food science, creating a feedback loop that's almost impossible to break by just trying harder. You feel like you're losing a battle of wills, but you're actually up against millions of years of evolution and some of the strongest neurochemical signals in your body. If any of this is already giving you an aha moment, and you want more science-backed strategies to take control of your health, go ahead and subscribe to the channel and click that little notification bell. It's a small click that really helps support our work and ensures you don't miss out on what's coming next. Okay, so your brain is hijacked. The good news? It doesn't have to stay that way. The single most incredible thing about your brain is neuroplasticity, its ability to physically change and rewire itself based on what you do and experience. We can use this to our advantage. Instead of fighting our biology, we are going to work with it. Here are 3 neurological strategies to weaken those old craving pathways and build new, healthier ones. Strategy 1. Activate your prefrontal cortex. Differentiate and delay. The part of your brain that cooks up these intense, impulsive cravings is the limbic system. It's fast, emotional, and primal. The part of your brain in charge of rational thought, long-term plans, and saying no is the prefrontal cortex. And it's much slower. When a craving hits, your limbic system is screaming, while your prefrontal cortex is still lacing up its running shoes. Your job is to buy it some time. This isn't about gritting your teeth and toughing it out. It's about becoming a scientist of your own body. The strategy is to differentiate and delay. First, differentiate. Ask yourself one simple question. Is this real hunger, or is this just a craving? True, physical hunger builds up slowly. It's a need for energy and would be happy with lots of different foods, like an apple or some chicken. A craving, on the other hand, is what we call hedonic hunger. It's sudden, intense, and super specific. You don't just want food, you want that cookie, that bag of chips. Often, this craving is just a stand-in for an emotion. You're stressed, bored, or tired. One recent study even found that cells in a part of the brainstem usually linked to panic can trigger food seeking, even when you're not hungry at all. Second, delay. Once you've called it out as a craving, just set a timer for 20 minutes. Your only job during that time is to do something else. The best first move is to drink a large glass of water, since dehydration often pretends to be hunger or cravings. Then, get up and move. Walk around the block, do a few stretches. This isn't just a distraction, it's a biological move. The physical activity can help regulate the stress hormones that might be fueling the craving, and the delay gives that slow, rational prefrontal cortex time to wake up and veto the impulsive demands from your limbic system. By consistently putting a pause between the craving and the action, you are actively weakening that automatic connection. You're teaching your brain that you are in charge, not the impulse. Strategy 2. Feed your gut intelligently. Remember that superhighway between your gut and your brain? Cravings are often just your brain asking for quick energy, based on signals it's getting from the gut. Processed, sugary foods are like cheap, low-grade fuel. They give you a fast spike in blood sugar and dopamine, but it's followed by a crash, which just leaves your brain demanding another quick fix. It's a total boom and bust cycle. The fix is to give your body the energy it's asking for, but with high-quality fuel. You need to feed your gut neurons and the trillions of microbes living there what they actually need to send long-term, "I'm full" signals to the brain. This means focusing on 2 key things: protein and fiber. Protein is broken down into amino acids, which are building blocks for your brain's chemical messengers and trigger powerful hormones that tell your brain you are full and satisfied. Fiber doesn't get digested by you, but by your gut bacteria. When they eat fiber, they produce these awesome compounds called short-chain fatty acids. These can actually cross into your brain and strengthen the satiety circuits, basically turning down the volume on hunger and cravings. So when a craving hits, instead of reaching for the cookie, reframe it. Your brain wants energy, so give it the best. Instead of the cookie, have an apple with a tablespoon of almond butter. You get fiber and a little sweetness from the apple and protein and healthy fats from the almond butter. Instead of chips, have a bowl of Greek yogurt with berries. You're getting protein from the yogurt and fiber from the berries. This isn't about restriction, it's about upgrading. You're satisfying the biological need, but you're doing it in a way that gives you sustained energy and sends real, "I'm full" signals to your brain, breaking that boom and bust cycle. Over time, as you keep making these swaps, your brain and your gut microbiome will actually adapt. Your brain will literally learn to prefer these higher quality foods because they provide stable, reliable energy. Strategy 3. Break the cue craving reward loop. Every powerful craving is part of a habit loop that's been wired into your brain. It has 3 parts: a cue, a routine, and a reward. The cue is the trigger. It could be a time of day, like 3 p.m., a place, the kitchen, an emotion, stress, or even seeing an ad. The routine is the craving and the act of eating the food. The reward is that dopamine hit and the temporary relief you feel. To break this, you need to do a pattern interrupt. You keep the cue and the reward, but you swap out the routine. First, you have to figure out your cues. For the next 3 days, carry a small notebook or use a note on your phone. Every time a strong craving hits, write down the time, where you are, what you're feeling, and what you were just doing. You'll quickly see a pattern. Maybe it's always when you sit on the couch to watch TV, or right after a stressful meeting. Just knowing is the first step. Second, design a new routine. This part is key. The new routine has to give you a similar kind of reward. If your cue is stress and your routine is eat a candy bar for the reward of relief, your new routine has to provide relief, too. For example, cue asterisk stressful email. Old routine asterisk walk to the vending machine for a candy bar. New routine asterisk walk outside and listen to one favorite song on your headphones. Reward asterisk a feeling of escape, a mood boost, and less stress. Or maybe, cue asterisk sitting on the couch to watch TV. Old routine asterisk open a bag of chips. New routine asterisk make a cup of herbal tea. Reward asterisk the comfort of a warm drink and the ritual of making it. Every single time you successfully do your new routine instead of the old one, you are physically weakening the old neural pathway and building a new one. It's like forging a new trail in the woods. At first, it's tough going, but the more you walk it, the clearer and easier it gets, while the old path starts to get overgrown and disappears. That is neuroplasticity in action. Look, for way too long, we've been told that food cravings are a personal failure. They are not. They're the totally predictable result of an ancient survival program running in a modern world it was never built for. But your biology is not your destiny. You absolutely have the power to be the architect of your own brain. By understanding these systems, you can stop fighting a losing battle of willpower and start using smart, science-based strategies. You can weaken the hold of these cravings by 1. Differentiating and delaying, to give your rational brain a fighting chance to take the lead. 2. Feeding your gut intelligently with protein and fiber, to give your brain high-quality fuel and long-term fullness. 3. Breaking the cue-reward loop by finding your triggers and installing new, better routines. This isn't a quick fix, it's a permanent rewiring. Just start with one of these this week. Pick one cue, one craving, and try a new approach. Be patient and be kind to yourself. Remember, you are working to change physical connections in your brain. You have the ability to rewrite these ancient programs and build a relationship with food that's about nourishment and enjoyment, not craving and control. You can take back the driver's seat.